dawn, wondering how grass can be so wet, though there's not a single cloud.
Hello everybody, this is Peter Winslow coming to you from sunny Scottsdale, Arizona with the latest installment of Ask the AS Victors, where we answer your questions about ankylosing spondylitis. So today I have a question from a reader named Allison, and Allison asked me, she says, Peter, I've heard you say that ankylosing spondylitis became an opportunity for you instead of a problem. Now what do you mean by that? Well, Allison, that's a really good question. It's even counterintuitive, and I'm expecting that most people watching this wouldn't understand the correlation, so I'm glad you asked. You know, in today's day and age, it's pretty uncommon for people to think of the challenges they face or the symptoms they suffer with as having any positive meaning for them in their lives. In fact, we usually consider the pain and suffering or disease of any kind to be the exact opposite of meaning. In other words, there's nothing positive here to be gained. And most people are really just doing their level best to escape the pain and suffering at any cost. Some of you have even surrendered to the belief that your struggles have sucked all the meaning right out of your lives. But is this really true? Is there really nothing that you can gain from the huge life lessons that come with the pursuit of happiness in the form of freedom from pain and suffering? So, in my own life, I found that the first lesson I learned would eventually lead to my full recovery from disease. And this is that lesson. Drop the bad attitude. Drop the resentment. Drop the fighting, the resistance, the regrets, and put an end to your inner hostility. In other words, get over it. Now I know that sounds tough, but here's what I did. I just let go of any meaning that I had invested in those feelings. So the victimization and all the rest of that, I made it meaningless. It means making no meaning for my experiences. They meant nothing to me. All those experiences with abuse and pain and all the rest of it. And as I did that, as I took the meaning out of it, I began to heal mentally, emotionally, and even physically. So if it weren't for my disease, I would never have had the opportunity to do that, or ever even learn this tremendous lesson of self-healing and recovery from illness. In fact, it was ankylosing spondylitis that led me straight to the inner wisdom which revealed the tools I needed to lay my emotional struggles and suffering aside. I mean, compared to AS, how bad could any of that emotional stuff really be? Compared to the crushing physical pain, the intense calcifying of the bones, and the severely limited lifestyle, how bad was the emotional pain? I mean, really, how bad was it? And which was more immediate? All the drama, all the abuse, the victimization and self-image challenges I had began to pale in comparison to what became my daily priority, which was dealing with the chronic pain of AS. So now, I had bigger fish to fry, as they say, a larger demon to conquer, and a hint of what would become my life mission. Choose a path to overcome and outlive the autoimmune disorder once and for all. That was my purpose. That was my mission. And as I moved beyond blaming and shaming and victimizing and finding fault and all those other old habits of giving my power away to those people who had abused me, an interesting thing happened in my life. The more I let go of the emotional stress and strain, the more empowered I felt and the better I got. So by doing so, I made the space for my inner stress to dissolve and vanish, which let my immune system revitalize itself, which allowed my body to begin healing itself more and more effectively. So with time and practice, I began to recover. And virtually the next thing I knew, the pain and suffering just stopped, all by itself. Now, how did that happen? It all began with an attitude adjustment. And that tiny adjustment started a small snowball rolling down a hill, as they say, which became larger and larger as a force of internal strength and freedom, bowling over the obstacles, the doubts, and the skepticism in my life. Now, my intention in telling you this is to help you find it in yourself, to let go of your resentment, let go of the anger, the hopelessness, the victimhood, and the other hurtful emotions you've carried on for so long. And now, create the space for a real change of heart. This is the first step that will lead you through the mystery of healing and recovery in your body, mind, and spirit. So, were it not for the challenges you've faced, you'd never find the way. So the bottom line, Allison, I say see your challenges as opportunities instead of problems, and you'll begin to resolve them much more easily and much more effectively. Thank you and namaste.